Hey everybody, Doop666 here, back finally for something new. Gonna do my first horror paperback novel update today. So I'm not really quite sure what I'm gonna name this series yet. I'm sure I'll figure it out by the time I upload it, but this will definitely be a reoccurring theme. Got a whole stack of some paperback horror novels. I think there's a true crime in there as well. Yeah, there's one true crime in there, but just gonna give quick little talking over each one of these, and just gonna get right into it. So first one here is Death Song. It's actually written by two people, Drake Douglas and Stephen Kent, and this was first published in 1987. It's Death Song. The lighting's a little weird. I hope you guys can see that, but we'll figure it out better in the future. I think you guys can see that, but I tend to pick up a lot of these paperbacks based upon the cover art if I really like it. Then I'll check out the synopsis on the back. If that hooks me, then I'll just take it. They're so cheap now. There's tons of paperback exchanges everywhere and where I live, so constantly cycling through this sort of stuff. This is one of the first ones I picked up a few years ago when I first started reading a lot again, and deals with this family. They have a guy that is extremely talented at piano, and he becomes obsessed with finding this new style of music that's actually basically like a cursed style of music. And he moves away into Europe, and he's super secluded, living in a castle. And this is basically the story about his brother coming and finding him and figuring out what the hell's going on. Twists and turns, tons of that sort of stuff. I really, really liked this a lot. Great brooding atmosphere and good character development. I have no complaints with it. Gonna keep it pretty simple with these reviews, obviously. I don't have too many books to talk about, and I'm trying to keep these videos on the shorter side so you guys can just know if I like them or not. So there it is, Death Song. You should definitely check that out if you can find a copy of it. I don't know if it still has pressed copies, or I typically find my paperbacks used at a paperback exchange or bookstore. So take a look around, see if you can find it. I thought it was really good. Death Song. Alright, next one we have by Michael McDowell, Cold Moon Over Babylon. This one revolves around a family struggling on a blueberry plantation. The rains come and kill their crops, and then somebody comes and murders one of the members of the family, and suddenly other people in town start coming up missing, and yeah, it's pretty much a monster sort of story. I wouldn't say that it's all too very ghost story. There's definitely some elements in it, but it's really more of a splattery sort of book in itself. So Michael McDowell, I really like this one a lot. When did this one come out? This particular edition, I love the cover art on this thing. It's this one was pressed in 1980 actually, so good year for horror there. So check out Cold Moon Over Babylon. Really liked it a lot. I don't have any authors that I'm super into. I tend to just find a bunch of different stuff and just give it a whirl. So this next one here is a true crime. Bridget DeCosmo kind of put this one together. This is about the life and crimes of Timothy Cashier, notorious serial killer. I don't know if, God, it's so bad. I can't see if you guys can see the cover art or not because the screen is so little and I didn't hook up my monitor. But it's all good. This definitely pulls no punches when it comes to documenting what this guy was up to. Extremely ruthless character, obviously. Not even character. This really happened, of course. True crime. I don't know how many of you read horror and are a fan of true crime, but I started branching out into it a couple of years ago as well. So this was one of the first ones I read, and I really liked it a lot. So check that out as well. This one was printed. This particular copy is actually fairly new. This is 2009. Looks like it was published quite some time before that, though. I can't really see, though, but this particular one is 2009. It's a fairly new book anyway, so Serial Murder 101. Alright, this is another one right here. Short little ditty. I really like this a lot, by Brian Ball, The Night Creature. This was such a creepy-ass little movie. I'm so used to talking about movies. This was such a creepy little book. Totally perfect pacing. Loved the character development. It didn't stray too far from moving the story along, though, to develop. I really liked the characters in it, so, having them go through these ordeals was absolutely horrifying. I love short little things like this. This was a doozy. I really liked it a lot. So this particular one came out, I think this is a 70s. Yeah, this particular copy was printed in 74. I think it's the first edition of it, just a paperback volume. Might be wrong, but this was definitely one of the better ones I've read in a while, so definitely be on the lookout for The Night Creature. This was totally awesome. Alright, got a couple more for you here. I'm really excited to talk about this one because it's the very first Stephen King book I ever read, and arguably the most effective. This movie rocked my world when I was younger. God, I'm going to have to work on that. This book rocked my world when I was younger, and I actually read this before I saw the movie, and it's just, you can't compare. Pet Sematary, this is a fantastic, horrifying book, written by the king of horror, obviously, Stephen King. This particular paperback, I've had this so long, it's so beaten up. I've read it a good few times now. My wife's even tried to get into it a bit. And this particular one is from '83. I don't know what edition it is. It's probably not first edition, it being a paperback and in his heyday. So, really, really good though. As you can see, it's just falling apart. I love this book to death. If you have not read Pet Sematary, you should definitely go check it out. Alright, got one more for you guys. This next one is the weirdest one I've read in a while. And I haven't read too much by Ramsey Campbell, but the novels I did read by him, I thought paled in comparison to him, to this particular book that he wrote. I saw a few others, on the shelves at the Paperback Exchange with his name on it. This was the only one that really hooked me with the synopsis, and I thought the cover art was really cool. The Hungry Moon. This particular edition came out, let me see here. This particular edition came out in 1986. It is a European author, so the diction in it is quite challenging if you're not accustomed to it. The dialect's a little different than American horror, and you'll definitely have to do a little research for some terms and stuff that are used in it, but I got along pretty quickly with it, and it's an absolutely wonderful pagan-like monster god sort of story. Like, the spider god of this novel is absolutely frightening. All the implications of ancient man's, dealings with these elder gods and whatnot is totally horrifying. I had a really, really, really good time with this book, and I think everybody else that gives it a try will too. So check out The Hungry Moon if you can find it, guys. That's going to wrap it up. I got to go jam with Deceive the Dead and go make some new music. So you guys go find some horror books, go watch some horror movies. I'm going to be back a little bit later tonight, and with the daily October features. Tonight we're going to be watching a couple of Rob Zombie favorites. You're going to have to tune in to figure out which ones. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good night. Stay safe and keep on creeping.